Bob Baker here at the Taxi Road Rally in Los Angeles. It's the third day and I'm telling you I am exhausted, but not too exhausted to talk to Dan Kimpel. Now Dan and I, we've known of each other's work for many years, and they've actually exchanged emails. This is the first opportunity I've had a chance to meet Dan, and actually some years ago I think I mentioned to you that I purchased your book, your original networking book called Networking in the Music Business, and enjoyed that. Since then, a new book has come out, right?
Absolutely, networking strategies for the new music business.
The new music business. That old business is fading away quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's a different world now, Bob. And I think that what we get to do with this is also to empower the independent artist or people that are working in different niches rather than go on the conventional route. And there are a lot of different routes people can go.
Now how did you, let's real quickly tell people about just a little bit about your background and how you got to writing and speaking about networking.
Well, you know, I like a lot of people, came up as a musician, and I did what musicians do and songwriters do, worked in many different areas of the business, and over time I noticed that the people that were really successful in the music business shared very specific personality traits and very specific career directives, and so it logically led itself into a book about networking and about the relationships, and I've been very fortunate to come up under righteous people who have amazing relationships who have influenced me, and I wanted to be one of those guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love what you wrote in your book. I know you got 2 books about this topic, but if you were to take like a couple of little nuggets that you could give us here, what are some of your top networking tips, or maybe some basic principles on the topic?
Well, the principle, I think, first of all, is I never encourage anybody to be anything other than what they are. In other words, if somebody calls me on the phone and says, "Hey, dude, I want to network with you," I run.
It's the wrong approach.
It's the wrong approach. What we do naturally is what works. We have to look at the parts of ourselves that people respond to positively and also get it over. Also, positive people respond to positive energy.
Exactly.
And I always encourage people to be very upbeat, to be very uplifting with what they do, to elevate it, to raise their game, to bring it up, to find reasons to feel good about themselves. Because the way that people feel about themselves is generally the way other people feel about them.
Right. And I know one of my focuses in talking about music marketing is I encourage musicians not to get obsessed about trying to impress industry people and to focus on fans and building those relationships with fans. But really, when it comes to making those industry connections, don't you want to have relationships with people who are fans of your music, even especially in the industry, right?
You start with the industry first. If we grow up if we're in a music capital like Nashville, New York, or LA, the first people you have to impress are the people around you. The other thing that I encourage people to do is, rather than looking up at some mythology, expecting some god from above to reach down and grab you and take you to be who you are, that you look around you. You see the people that you can access in your world that can benefit by your help, by your assistance. You help those people. And again, it's just what comes naturally. As they move up, so do you move up in the business.
Right. Another thing I encourage people is to approach relationships where there's an equal amount of value being exchanged. It's a mistake. I like what you said, is to be reaching out going, please help me, save me from my obscurity. You know, but if you can maybe start at a lower level with people that are at a similar level and then work your way up into the relationship hierarchy, maybe?
Absolutely. Well, what you said is a real key point for my book, which is that effective networking has to benefit both parties. You say, how am I going to benefit somebody? Well, maybe somebody will want to help you because you're the kind of person they want to see succeed.
Right.
You know, I teach at Musicians Institute Hollywood. You know, a lot of that is because I like to teach, but I'm also networking for the future. My students go on and have really good gigs in the business, and when they need something Uncle Dan brings to the party, guess who gets that job?
Uncle Dan.
Uncle Dan, baby.
I like that. Well, it's been a real pleasure hanging out with Uncle Dan. It's great to meet you. It's Uncle Bob here. See you later.
Nice.
Great, man.
Great.
Oh, thanks.